In the sun-dappled glade of Willow Creek, two young dreamers, Puku and Puki, stood on the precipice of their lives. They were small, fluffy creatures with bright, eager eyes, each carrying an invisible satchel of aspirations. Willow Creek was a vibrant place, full of whispering winds that carried stories of success and challenges. And every young creature was expected to embark on their own life path. Puku, the more cautious and introspective of the two, peered down the path that wound through the dense, shadowed woods. This was the path of the grand architect, where creatures meticulously built intricate nests, designed to withstand the fiercest storms and house the grandest families. It required patience, precision, and an unshakable vision. Puku admired the beautiful, perfect nests that stood tall in the distance, shining like jewels. Puki, on the other hand, was drawn to the sparkling, open meadow path, leading towards the peak of shimmering harvest. This was the path of abundance, where creatures gathered the most radiant sunberries and glow seeds, accumulating wealth and renown. Puki envisioned a magnificent pile of shimmering sustenance, enough to share with everyone, enough to ensure never a hungry day. I will build the strongest, most beautiful nest, Puku declared, a tremor in their voice, one that will be a testament to enduring strength. And I, Puki chirped, already bounding ahead, will gather the greatest harvest, a mountain of provisions that will bring joy to all. Quote, their paths diverged. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Puku's journey, the path of the grand architect. Puku began with fervent enthusiasm. They carefully selected the strongest twigs, the finest moss, and the most pliable reeds. But building was harder than it looked. The wind would scatter their delicate foundations. Rain would dissolve their mud mortar. Other creatures, more experienced, seemed to craft perfect structures with ease, while Puku's attempts often crumbled. There were days Puku felt utterly defeated, watching their carefully laid plans fall apart. Doubt whispered, "You're not good enough. Your vision is flawed." Puku saw other, younger architects surpassing them, their nests rising swiftly. Sometimes, Puku would glimpse Puki's meadow from afar, seeing a growing mound of shimmering berries, and a pang of inadequacy would strike. But Puku, despite the tears and frustration, refused to give up. Each collapse taught a new lesson. A stronger knot here, a different angle there, a more resilient type of moss. Puku learned that true strength wasn't about avoiding falls, but about understanding why things fell and finding new ways to rebuild. The process became more important than the perfect outcome. Puku learned resilience not from success, but from countless failures, each one making their spirit a little more flexible, their foundation a little deeper. The nests Puku built might not have been perfect on the first try, but they were stronger for every piece Puku had to re-evaluate and reinforce. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Puki's journey, the path of shimmering harvest. Puki's initial journey was a dizzying success. The meadow was indeed abundant. Puki was quick, agile, and had a keen eye for the ripest sunberries. Soon, a vibrant pile began to grow, reflecting the sunlight in a dazzling display. Other creatures admired Puki's harvest, marveling at the sheer volume and brilliance. Puki felt a rush of pride, a confirmation of their chosen path. But as the pile grew, so did a subtle, gnawing emptiness. The act of gathering, once exciting, became repetitive. Puki had so many berries, yet felt strangely alone. Other creatures came to take from the pile, but their gratitude often felt fleeting. Puki spent more time guarding the harvest, worrying about it, than truly enjoying it. The shimmering glow, once a symbol of joy, began to feel like a burden. Puki also noticed something else. While their pile was impressive, some of the most contented creatures in the meadow had smaller, more modest harvests, but they shared them with laughter around a communal fire, or carefully nurtured a single, rare moonflower in a small patch, finding deep satisfaction in its delicate beauty. Puki had achieved their goal of abundance, but found it didn't automatically translate to lasting joy or connection. The peak of shimmering harvest felt cold and lonely at the very top. Puki learned that true wealth wasn't just about accumulating, but about purpose, connection, and what truly fed the soul. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The crossroads. One day, a harsh winter descended upon Willow Creek. Unlike any before, the winds howled, and the snow fell relentlessly. Puku's carefully constructed, resilient nests, rebuilt and strengthened countless times, became havens for many shivering creatures. Though not always the grandest, they stood firm, sheltering families and providing warmth. The wisdom Puku had gained from all those failures, knowing exactly where to reinforce, how to mend a broken beam, how to insulate against the biting cold, was invaluable. Puku became a source of quiet strength and practical help. Puki's magnificent pile of shimmering berries, though vast, offered no warmth against the bitter cold, no shelter from the relentless wind. The beauty of the harvest diminished under the blanket of snow. Puki was alone, shivering despite the wealth, realizing that all the sunberries in the world couldn't replace the comfort of a warm hearth or the shared laughter of friends. It was Puku, venturing out to check on the weaker nests, who found Puki, huddled and desolate beside the once proud harvest. There was no judgment, only understanding. Your berries glow brightly, Puku said gently, but they do not warm the heart. Puki nodded, tears in their eyes. And your nests, though they may have fallen many times, now stand strongest when it matters most. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The lesson of life's design. Together, Puku and Puki found a new purpose. Puku, with their deep understanding of structure and resilience, began to design communal shelters, fortified by the lessons of 1,000 previous collapses. Puki, humbled by the loneliness of abundance, learned to use their gathering skills not for personal accumulation, but to find rare, warming herbs and nourishing roots that could sustain the community through the harsh winter. Sharing them freely and joyfully, they discovered that life isn't about choosing one perfect path, but about embracing the unique lessons each journey offers. Puku learned that sometimes, the greatest strength comes from breaking and rebuilding. Puki learned that true richness lies not in what you possess, but in how you connect, how you give, and the warmth you share. From that day forward, the creatures of Willow Creek often spoke of Puku and Puki, not just for their individual achievements, but for their combined wisdom, the resilient spirit forged in failure, and the generous heart born from a recognition of true value. They taught everyone that life's greatest lessons are often found not in the gleaming success stories, but in the quiet perseverance through hardship, and the humbling realization that meaning often lies beyond what first appears shiny and desirable. Their story became a testament that every struggle, every detour, and every quiet act of generosity weaves together to form the most beautiful and enduring tapestry of a well-lived life.